When you're looking at your profit and loss statement, which is absolutely vital if you want to increase the profitability of your franchise business, what I often suggest to clients is to actually turn all of your figures into percentages. So you think, if you've got wage costs, labour costs, you would turn that total amount, that expense, into a percentage of your total turnover. So what percentage of your turnover is going to your staffing costs? What percentage of your turnover is going to your leasing costs? What percentage of your turnover is going to your accounting costs or your food costs? You can break it down as much as you like. But what I find is the reason I suggest turning it into a percentage is that you can actually grow the profitability of your business and keep your margin there. What often happens is that a lot of people will go out in business and they'll double their turnover, but they haven't doubled their profit. So their margin has actually got smaller. And that's because they haven't actually watched how they've grown their business. So you might have been able to do, say, $100,000 of turnover with 2 people. And now you're doing $200,000 of turnover, but you've got 6 staff. Well, that isn't the same percentage. If you're doing an extra $100,000 and you've doubled it, well, it would make sense that you should double your staffing costs, not actually times it by 3. So by actually having the percentages, it means that you can, no matter what your turnover is, you can keep your percentages relatively the same. Now, of course, it's great if your percentages go down because that means your margin will go up. But also be careful. You know, you want to make sure that your percentages don't go too low, especially think like staffing costs. Because if your percentage goes below a certain amount, maybe that means you're not servicing your customers well. You're not going to keep that repeat business. Maybe you're not delivering the customer service you'd like, or the time that it takes to service your customers is increased. So it's not only about decreasing those percentages, it's finding the percentages that I like to call your sweet spot in your business. What are all my percentages when everything's working really well and I'm making the profit or the margin that I really want to be making in my business? You'll find it's much easier to work in percentages than it is in dollar terms when you're looking at growing and building your franchise business.